Anti-Eddie Ping, Silver, Silver. Wishes up to tell a pretty pings. I can't go like yellow. In the agent, you bites the whistle. Works well.
Here I go, Anti-Eddie Ping.
Yes, it's a William Brixit one these days. So instead of some, after.
Here I go, Anti-Eddie Ping.
Ho, ho.
It functions everywhere, sometimes without stopping, sometimes discontinuously. It breathes, it heats, it eats, it shits, it fucks. One mistake ever said the it everywhere. It is machines, not at all metaphorically. Machines of machines with their couplings, their connections. An organ machine is connected with a source machine. One emits a flux, which the other cuts. The breast is a machine that produces milk, and the mouth, a machine coupled to that one. The mouth of the anorexic hesitates between an eating machine, an anal machine, a talking machine, a breathing machine, deeper machine, asthma, attack. This is why we are all tinkerers, each with their own little machines. An organ machine for an energy machine. There are always flux and cuts. Judge Schreber 5 has divine rays in his ass. Solar anus. And rest assured it works. Judge Schreber feels something, produced of something, and theorized about it. Something is being deduced effects of machines, not metaphors. Of the schizophrenic. It's a better model than the neurotic lying on the couch. A bit of fresh air, relationship with the outside. Take the stroll of Lenz into the outdoors. It is different from moments when Lenz finds himself with his good pastor, who forces him to situate himself socially in relation to God, in relation to Father, in relation to Mother. On the contrary, he is in the mountains under the snow with other gods, or without God at all, without family, without father or mother, with nature. What does my father want? Can he give me better? Impossible! Leave me alone. Everything is a machine. And three celestial machines, the stars are rainbows, alpine machines, each coupled with those of his body, noise machine. Uninterrupted, idle intermittent. It must feeling of endless bliss to be in contact with the profound, life profound to every form. To have a soul for the rocks, metals, water, and plants, to welcome into oneself, as in a dream, every element of nature, like flowers that breathe with the waxing and waning of the moon. Och det landskap gissar where både dig vi multidagen ned, innan det replies. Krongas can be a chlorophyllin machine or a photosynthesis machine, or at least slip his body as a part into such machines. Lenz put himself before the distinction of man nature, before all the identifications that this distinction conditions. He could not experience nature as nature, but as a process of production. There is no more man nor nature only process that produces the one within the other and couples the machines together. Producing machine, desiring machine everywhere, schizophrenic machines, all generic life. Me and not me, exterior and interior and interior.
This is going to be a different kind of stream. Hello, everyone. I hope all of you are doing well. Probably going to start the Discord up. I don't know. It's not really a reading today. It's not really what we're doing. Instead, I've been working on trying to figure out how I want to do this next reading because it's a bear and a half. Anti-Oedipus, we've gone through now 3 full times, aside from my own readings of it and my own readings of all the secondary texts that exist for it. There's been a lot. It's been a lot. It's been good, though. And I've talked about how I've been working on a way to sort of, I don't even know if I call it a new translation, but a way to bring the original French text through in a stronger way. The current translation I find to be just absolutely lacking, and it's lacking in really a really frustrating number of ways, to be perfectly honest. So how do I do that? How do I set up a way for us to work together on it? Because I know Estelle, anytime I put anything in this, Estelle, Jan, et cetera, we have many, many French speakers actually in this, but corrections are going to come about. And I want to really make that fun and not really a thing that sort of screams the other direction. I also want to be able to start collecting and building my annotations, because it's going to take a long process. And, I could be doing it in my own spare time and doing it 20 minutes here and there, but the annotations I may understand or may want in there, I don't know if they're going to reflect what people necessarily want or need or what people think are important. So how do we set all of this up? So I've been working on a thing. So the way I'm looking at having this run, and right now it is, we'll just say technically it seems like it's working. Today is a bit of a test and setup and getting things going and seeing what we do. But this is more or less how I want to do the translation, how I want to do the next reading, and how we're going to set it up. The way it goes is pretty simple. We fully have just our straight up stats in the bottom left. I'll explain all of those. Chat, you guys are in the upper right. If anyone chats, it should pop through there. Dear God, I hope it pops through there. I've got formatting stuff to do, but more or less today is functional more than anything else. To say the least, more or less functional. It's weird seeing Win98 on a flat screen. I know it is. I just wanted to go with something clean, simple, and easy. There you go. Huh? Look at that. Is that legible? Is that text large enough? These are all things I need people to be telling me. Because I can't. It seems like it's large enough. It seems legible. It's a nice 1080 screen. I can make it bold. I can do a few other things with it, but it seems okay. Text is too small. There you go. That's what I'm hoping to figure out. Thank you. That's what I'm hoping to figure out. Let's see what's going on with it. All fine for me. See, are you on mobile, Estelle? Again, today's technical diagnoses, so this is how it's going to work. And then we'll kind of get into the rest. And dear God, I hope that my jokey, the translator, is working. I think bolding it. It's barely legible. Yeah, it's a very thin font. Let me see where it's at. Maybe bold it. Anton is also screaming at me. Chat bar by the side. Yeah, I'm going to move it up to 13 pixels too, size. It was at 11, which is fine, but not great. It'll erase your text. You're going to have to type something again when I refresh, but so give it another type. Chats should still be connected, dear God. This is spaghetti code and stealing from various GitHubs and also AI. So this is the way it works. And also my shitty code. So this is how it works. Still not, it's a little bolder. It's not better though. The window for stats could be enlarged a bit. Yeah, that's probably fair. That's probably fair. All right. It seems, is it more legible a bit, or is it, do I need to just pick out a different font entirely? Because it feels like I can make it, if I made the text significantly larger, like if I went up to 15 or 16 point, I could do 20 point and see what it looks like. Let's find out. Let's find out. I will say, since I've been fucking with Java and Python so much, I have missed how absolutely beautifully simple fucking HTML is to code with. I fucking loved, I miss it. I miss it so much. Because it's like, oh, just find the thing and then edit it. Let's see. Okay, so for the title of everything, the title bar, which is very legible to me. This is the part that's frustrating. The collective chat, QC Anti-Oedipus translate, like the titles in them, they're only 14 pixels and there's no AA on them at all, which I did a mini stream privately and it read very nicely. Like it seemed like it worked really well. So it was a little frustrating to like, The titles are legible somewhat. You know what? Somewhat is perfectly fine for me. And it might be the extreme contrast because it's the dark background on the white font might actually make it sort of pop harder. Sans serif font? I don't want to do a sans serif font. See, here's the problem, Anton. It is a nostalgic play. So if I put in something that is not that thing, it doesn't read the same. Doesn't look the same. It's tough. This is a tough one. Let me see what I can do. So let's see. Okay, I've got bold across everything. Like I've already got bold on so much of this. This is frustrating. Because I got the toolbars, buttons. The buttons are 13 pix, and then that font is normal. And I can, you know what? I'll change that actually to bold. And if I can also plug Notepad++ as the greatest program that's ever been released. I just shudder to think of the days when I used to have to download Dreamweaver. Title's much easier to read. It's the thickness. It's the thickness. But the weight. The weights is going to be the problem. because I can probably do bolder. Because like bold is probably what? I think bold's 700. I could probably do 900 and like force it to jump over. Let's find out. Where are you? Stat row. I'm in stats now. There it is. Okay, so we'll try 16, and I will just do fucking 900 bold. We'll just see how fucking stupid that looks. We'll see how stupid that looks. So I got wait for increased kerning? No. The headline, so in Windows, Windows 3.1, which is what this is specifically, it's not 98, sorry. Windows 3.1 specifically, the titles for everything were always in sans serif, and then the text was actually in, it's not Windows 98, sorry everyone. I'm older than that, but I appreciate you people. Everyone's got different nostalgia, I suppose. I want Times New Roman for this. I love how everyone is a critic. Oh. Someone super chatted. That worked. Please go away. Please go away. Please go away. 3 seconds. It didn't work. They're not going away. We'll just see, because they should. Over time, the physics should slow them down until they stop. I debated on a Bonzi buddy that was, because I have those images of Deleuze and Guattari that are like perfect, like to sit on things. Yeah, it's a solar anus. No one has a solar anus except me. I'm gonna have to refresh now because those are not going away. But I first want Big Kamek Sands. I love you. Lucia, you're great. Let's see. We'll just see if those go away at some point. Because I don't mind if they hang out. They are going behind my camera. But that's because I didn't do a cutout. And I'm not doing a cutout. Look, the suns disappear. It just takes a really long time, but I don't mind that. That's okay. I can fix that later. Back to this. Okay. Chat messages. Wait. Let's bump them up. Let's do 14 pixels. I've got Courier New, which is a monospace font, which I think looks great, but it doesn't work itself. So I'm taking font recommendations, and if you say Comic Sans, you're out. Do I have the capacity to enlarge the window with me in it? I have the capacity to resize the window. It doesn't drag with me because it's not actually attached to my camera right now. So it's a bit of a pain in the ass, to be perfectly frank. Because it doesn't actually pull my camera in, because you know what? I'm not in the mood to have a web camera server and all this other garbage. That's its own fucking dumb nightmare that I don't want to deal with. I'm going to fuck with probably offline, but not here. Not Papyrus, you sons of bitches. OBS lets you group objects. Ah, yes, Rudd. But that makes you think that all of these are various objects. This is, the background is literally a web page I made that I'm hosting locally. All of this is one single web page, except for my camera. So there's 2 objects in this entire scene. Let's find out what the Windows 11 fonts were. Let's do that. Deja Vu Mono. Yeah, but it has to be so it can't just be any random font like that I have installed on my system or whatever. There's a whole bunch of reasons for that. I'm hoping not to have to host this purely locally the whole time. At some point, I do want it to go where I can host it on another machine in my house. So I need a just web-friendly font that sort of is always there. I have every font. Like, I have a silly number of fucking fonts. I can export the frame for the window and have 3 objects. I don't understand what that means. Well, I'll annoy you in a second. Let me figure out the font thing first. When 3.1 fonts used, what were they? Because this is just monospace, so yeah, you know what? Let's try it. Let's try Helvetica, see how that works first. First, I think I enlarged it and saved already, which is good. So let's try you and see what happens with that. In theory. Enlarged, or did not enlarge. What the fuck? Bumped it up. Line heights, message margin, background, border wrap. Is there, did I double up something somewhere? Yeah, there it is. Thank you, Aiko. Brooks says he doesn't mind, so I'll keep going. You do that all you want. And it does, also the stats are permanent. So everything that we do from this stream on is staying in that stats. It's a JSON database itself. It's just going to hold the info. So it just goes and goes and goes and goes and goes. Computer code, Chibi, Brooks, VTube, Avatar. I actually have one of those. When I didn't originally want to be on stream and I was being a sensitive weirdo. Let's see. One sec. It should have saved it automatically. Let me see if I have to replace it in there. Yeah, I have to re-add it. 1 second. This will make your day. This makes people laugh. This makes me smile too. Let's see. You people just like seeing that. Yeah, see, I figured I'd figure out something eventually that would make people want to give me money. Where is it? There we are. Okay. I need to find the files for this. 1 sec. This is, I promise, this is worth absolutely nobody's time. Genuinely. All right. Have you ever used CatTuber? CatTuber is a really cute little program. You can make little adorable, I think, pretty adorable little stupid things. Resources and character. That goes in there. Okay. Come on. This makes me laugh. I don't know. Fuck, this makes me laugh. We might leave this in for other things. I'll probably keep this as a source inside of this anyway. Let's see. Let's switch out of studio mode. Fucking studio mode always annoys me. We'll do window capture, and it's going to be Brooks Tuber. I think it's great. Makes me smile. And it does the whole if I'm playing a game thing. He hits all the buttons, runs his hand around. I think it's fucking awesome. So yeah, I have a little VTuber guy. So he's pretty great. It's the amazing. Some random person on Reddit. I did the like sketch of it out how I wanted my face to look, and sat with them. And the person on Reddit was like $15, and I was like, okay. Where's the colored hair and nails? That I only have the grayness in there, but it's all editable. It's all editable. I just don't have it edited right now. Let's go back to this. All right, so font weight, I've shifted up to 900 for chat messages. 1 sec, we haven't refreshed yet. 12 pixels, I think that's fine. Padding, I think works. The super chats are right now like it's a very simple play, but I think that works generally. Let's take a look at boldening. All right. Leftist and 90s computer aesthetics. Name a better duo. Oh, it's very few. That is larger. It's actually, that should be decently more readable. Is that more readable for people who are watching and give a shit? Right now, the number of anuses do not scale, sadly. But right now, I just wanted to make sure the fucking thing worked. And right now, for some reason, it's saying Raiko has donated $150 total dollars, but that's so far in Swedish kroner, 50 each, which is $5, which is fantastic. Don't get me wrong, but I've got to figure out how to set that right. So I may be resetting after today. I think it's generally readable now. I think it's generally readable right now. You think Lecton will do it? Red's thinking Lecton. I could try Lecton. One sec. I will return shortly. One moment. All right, sorry about that. Random noises in kids means you get up from what you're doing. That's how it works. If you don't know this. Oh, so don't worry. The donations are going to be put to work. There's a thing there. Although it shouldn't say $150. Honestly, the number's irrelevant to me. I think it's fun to have it sort of grow at whatever level it is. You know what? I'm going to try Lecton. I actually think that might be an interesting one. It is a very old style, but it's really clean. You know what? Yeah, we're going to try use Lecton. Give me a second. Let's see how that works. Let's see. Okay. I think. Yeah. So if it's, yeah, we can swap it in. So we just toss it in, create a new monospace, switch it to Lecton, create a new font size, easy. Here's open. I like learning about new fonts. Still doesn't look great on my phone. Well, we'll wait. Give it a moment. Give it a moment. Chat's ready. I just need someone to send something. Someone's got to keep typing, or I will just do it. I think that works nice, actually. I think that works really nicely, actually. Okay, not magenta. Okay, well, I'm learning that I have emoji issues. That's fine. I actually have no idea how to handle emojis. That's actually a really interesting one. Because emojis are handled by being inside of the colons, but I'm not going to fucking, do I just grab the fucking, I don't even know if I can grab the emoji. It's a really nice font. It is a nerd font, but it's a nice font. I think it's more readable. Estelle, is it more readable for you? Because you were the one specifically. It's the 90s. What's an emoji? I mean, this is actually really fair. I could add a lookup table. Fuck. This is becoming more work than I want. The other part of this is like the least important part that there is. Yeah. I'm gonna ask AI to do it. I don't fucking care. Sorry. I'm not gonna put my brain towards this one. I'm gonna ask Claude to do it. That my brain. Sorry. This is not where I want my energy and brain to be going. Jesus Christ. Fuck me. Fucking people. Brooks wants a programmer. This is my old joke, and I've had this for years when I've run projects, because I've been fortunate to be lead on a lot of projects, is I can do everyone's job. I just wouldn't hire me to do any of it. It's an old joke that generally is pretty fucking accurate. I think the font is pretty good at this point. It's more readable. That's good. It's at 12 pixels. That's full bold. It doesn't go more bold than that. Make sure bot doesn't show up on chat. No, the bot's still going to be part of it. Whatever's chat is in chat. I'm not going to filter that, because if I start doing that, it's going to end up like, I just feel in my head like the nightmare is just going to fucking explode. I see it. The emoji options, there's like 900 of these fucking options. Yeah, that's gonna be a nightmare. Normal emojis should just work, not Twitch specific ones. Normal emojis, I think, do still work. Well, I think we just learned. I'm not even sure what that is, because they're going to use the font set. Every font set has its own sort of emoji native sort of version of things. At least most of them do. I think Lepton does for sure. I reached on learning outcomes for the video. He said he's not interested in random channels critiquing him. Oh, are you shocked, Goddard? Are you shocked? Are you shocked? Told you he doesn't care. This font looks more condensed, which can be useful. No problem to readability. I think condensed is fine. I don't have a Clippy. I'm debating on trying to figure out how that can work and what I can do with that. There's a lot of options. There are people who've built full-on like Tamagotchi Clippies that have their own API you can host locally. So I could have Clippy that like interacts and does things. That's not like, at some point, if this was like actually a full-time paying job, yes, I would find ways to do that. I love you people, but aside from So Far Ryko today, with the $15, and again, you rule. If it wasn't for big assholes of sons, do a Markov chain translator? What the fuck? Do you realize technically more Windows 2000 than 3.1? It's fine. It's 2000E. It's close. It's. I stole from various things. Red, I hate you so much. Fucking nitpick assholes. Nitpick dicks. Let's talk about the actual brunt of the thing. Just take the chunks, render them as spaces, and then render the emoji over it without matching. See, okay, every step of this, right now, all of this is run really simply. There is a Python script to pull you fuckers in. There is a local web server that is only basically an HTML page. It's a big old HTML page that outputs and interacts with a handful of JSON. That's it. Simple, tight, tiny. The first time I asked Claude, what would you do? And it started building this insane, goddamn everything nightmare. I have no interest in having that complex shit, because the big thing is this. This is chapter 1, Machines of Desire. And this is, every one of these pages is, by the way, my translation. It's not perfect. There's a lot of small minor changes that I still want to make, and I want to go through, and there's like a second pass, but I finished and I want to go do a second pass. So to do that, at any point, you can swap between the two, and we can see, hey, here is, for example, Brooks. The original English translation says desiring machines. Les machines désirantes. Why do you have machines of desire? Well, here's the thing. There's actually a lot of really, really tiny nuances in the way that language functions that speaks to, I don't know how to put it, everything. I want to say fucking everything. I'm just going to say fucking everything, especially when you're talking about how these words come about. If you say desiring machines, I coded all of this. It's a combination of stealing code from GitHub, which you do, my own, because I do know HTML, and then having AI fix things when errors went wrong, because I'm not very good. The YouTube chat functionality specifically, I got to tell you, Claude fixed everything I was doing wrong. So it's great. Desiring machines, as a phrase in English, puts the onus on the machines as desiring, that the machines are doing the desire. Desiring machines. They're desiring people. It puts the onus on them. But that's not actually the original wording. The original has to do with sort of a very complex thing that we don't really have in English, which is where you put the action being done on, like, within the subject. So machines desirantes tends to be much more of a thing that's like the machines of desire, because they're made of desire. Everywhere desire, machines of desire, not desiring machines, not machines that exist separate from desire. They're made of desire. They are desire. They're fundamentally desire. So the translation's particular there, for example. And we're going to go through the first paragraph here because this is kind of where I think is going to be kind of fun. But at any point, it's like, someone's like, hey, Brooks, why'd you do that? Well, I can go, okay, well, here's mine. Here's this. I have the original English up because, of course, I fucking do. But even for the paragraphs, so we can see like the differences in the setups. And we can say, hey, Brooks, there are changes. And by the way, you're going to notice fundamentally, I didn't even use the original English as like a map to lay out. There's a lot of changes they made. There's a lot of changes they made that are like, very frustrating. I don't have another way to sort of say this. Let's start. So mine says it functions. We're just going to do the first line. It functions everywhere, sometimes without interruption, sometimes discontinuously. There's the other English. And again, I think this is much more accurate to the French right here, because it says, c'est fonction partout, tantôt sans arrêt, tantôt discontinue. It's there's a particular, I don't give a shit. Oh, it says French to French when I hit tag. I don't care. This is not for public release. I don't care. I can fix that later. It functions everywhere. It works everywhere. It is at work everywhere is the other English version, which is absolutely different, because it's not that it is at work everywhere. It's not. It's functioning everywhere. Function is about a mechanical register that Deleuze and Guattari are playing with. How do you know how to read and write French? I've spent 4 years doing nothing but that with this book over and over and having people yell at me. French is actually for an English speaker surprisingly easy to begin to read. I will never be able to, as Terrence Blake said to me, he was an Australian who literally moved to France to study under Deleuze. So he's got a few years on me. But his phrasing was within a year or within a few months, he was able to read pretty efficiently, but he couldn't order a baguette to save his life. I empathize with that. I empathize with that so much. So this is spending time. And it's sitting with people who speak French. It's sitting with the way that La Poujade has translated. Like a lot of this references other people who've done Deleuze translations. La Poujade, the Purdue Project, referencing how they've gone about translating various words. And also some things that I think as we've done this reading, because it's now 5.5 years, we've been doing nothing but this. As we go through it, every single time we run into these things that are like, well, this is weird. And eventually we get back to the text where it's functionally different. And like this opening line, it functions everywhere versus it is at work everywhere, which is the original English translation. That's the other one. Functioning smoothly at times, at other times in fits and starts. There's no reason to make this change. The mechanical register that DNG are playing with here, which is function, particularly function. When they say at work, the presumption is, and it's an English thing. I would even say it's in French if you were to say the same thing back. It adds an extra flourish to it that presumes that it is at work. It like that has an odd connotation to it that functions doesn't. But also, to not just say discontinuously when that is absolutely a phrase in English, it's not like there's not a one-to-one. It's discontinue is literally a perfect translation for discontinuously. But to add fits and starts, it's an idiom that makes it anglicized in a weird way. Because again, there's particular phrasing in mathematics for what discontinuous means in physics, science, which is what they're pulling from when they're writing about these things. Discontinuous doesn't just mean irregular, which is what fits and starts means. It means that it operates in a different register than the continuous. That's particular. This is the first sentence. So I get a little frustrated at it. Because that's like the entire point here is that desire is operating, is functioning as a machinic process that has modes. The modes are continuous and discontinuous fluxion. Okay. This is the fundamental rhythm of desiring production as a thing. So this is about the flux and the cuts. This is about the back and forth constantly. To have that, to me, the breaking of that is starting people thinking about, oh, desire is at work everywhere. It personifies it. It creates it as like it's doing things or that it's at labor. No. It's a stunningly, it's how to fail in one sentence is a nice way to put it. I find it stunning. It's just like, but then we keep going. And I right here, I go sometimes without interruption, sometimes discontinuously, and I click annotate. It is important to note, and I'm adding my annotation. 1 sec, I'm going to copy it over. It is important to note the use of the terms as being two differing registers. And Brooks, you're terrible today. Differing registers, which create the flux of desire as a rhythm. Scientific terminology and mathematical exactness is intentional on their part. Deleuze writes about this elsewhere, and I have no interest in debating it. But in theory, if someone were to super chat as I'm tapping this, in theory, they should sponsor it. If it's working, if it's working, if it's working, if it's working, if it's working. I can do a practice one, but I'm just saying. It should be, by the way, $1. You should be able to sponsor it if the annotation's up. Someone want to do the first one for $1? Sponsor it. Immortal. Immortalized in my terrible translation. There you go. So you're now in the annotation in the JSON, and it goes nowhere. It did it. Oh, thank God. Oh, God, you both did it. And it's all buttholes everywhere. And when I click save, that's it. You're set. You know what? I will even add yours in there, Ido. Let's make sure we format it right like the others. It does look like it stacks, which is good. All right. Super chat from Ido. Ido il Dodo. I'll get you in there. It's also technically $20, but we're gonna. It's not 20 kroner, so that's fine. And we get that done, and then save. So that's permanent. You are in the JSON file that's set up, and this is kind of how I'm wanting to fund this project, is as I do it, as a thing pops in, as it sets up, it's going to be your super chats as I'm annotating, your super chats as it goes. All of these things will become part of the text. We'll get to this because there's a little bit, second line. It breathes, it heats, it eats, it shits, it fucks. What an error to have said the it. Now in the original, which is really fucking annoying, the opening, they kind of get it just fine. There's not much of a difference there. To me, it's important the way that the full stop functions, they get rid of that. In theirs, that's fine. It's just very annoying. But this last bit, what an error to have said the it. They translate it as, what a mistake to have ever said the id. Now, this is probably one of those things that, when you're doing something like this, being a pedant is normal. Like, I expect pedantry. The original French actually says, quelle erreur d'avoir dit le ça. It is literally what an error to have said the it. The phrasing is really important here to DNG. This is really frustrating that they translated it like this. So when Hurley went about it and he said the id, you know it. It's the Freudian central source of desire. It's the place desire comes from, whatever you want to fucking, it doesn't matter, because they're just like, fuck. That when Freud said the it, which is das Es in shitty weird German, the it for him, it's placing a singular onus in the idea of the something, the it. Their answer to this, and it's really, really important, is they want to depersonalize the it, because the whole point for them is to sort of get away from this idea that there is a singular source. By switching it to the it maintains a level of grammatical awkwardness. The point is, as an it, the word it, Deleuze wrote entire seminars on. He did them in Logic of Sense. Logic of Sense focused on it as a fucking word because of how it sort of denotes whatever. Like when I say, hey, did you see it? You know what I'm talking about because I'm literally only able to reference something else. It doesn't have anything itself. The whole point is that this pronoun, very nice. In the Swedish translation, it says the equivalent of the it. Capitalizing it makes it ominous. And again, capitalizing it, not in the original, but better than the id. Because when we actually put the id in there, you kind of make the text of Anti-Oedipus complicit in the very error they're trying to fuck with. And they do this throughout the entire book. D&G go out of their way to only mention the id in particular ways that they're talking about that thing on a shelf for Freud over there. To just have the it and the id swapped around fucks this completely. So, but, again, we need what an error to have said the it. Oh, come on. Moves it center. Why does it pop up there? I need to work into that. Is a reference to the id, the famous concept from Freud, which is the source of desire. However, they are trying to distance. I'll rewrite it in a bit. That maybe better put the it in quotes, except that they don't do that. Like they don't. Oh, wait, what did it do? Oh, I see what it's doing. 1 second. It's not able to maintain that. That's an error with the annotation thing. Give me 2 seconds. Since this was reference was being said, that's the whole point, is that you're not putting it in quotes. So specifically, when Freud said the das es, the it, he's talking about that something, that it, the thing that is just out of reach of our vocal register, that is the source of things. They're saying, no, it's not the it. It is everywhere. It. There are it's everywhere. It is not one it. It is everywhere. It is always everywhere. It's not really a reference to being said. That's the whole point. Which is really fascinating. But 1 second, I need to, this one is going to be asking Claude what I can do here, because this is a fucked up bug. So wait, is it actually replacing it or is it keeping it? That's actually really... I'm actually fascinated. Why is it able to I didn't match it like that. Or did I accidentally do that? It functions everywhere sometimes if I don't do it. I mean, it's actually replacing the French almost exactly. That's kind of weird. Is it? I wonder if it's character count. Might be character count. It's character count. No, it's not. No, nope, not character count. Might be. One moment. This one is not one I'm going to be able to solve myself. So while I was doing that, I'm actually really fascinated by this because this carries through the whole book in a really kind of ruthless way. In a way that genuinely, like, I mean, even in this paragraph alone, these small changes begin shifting how people write about this or how people talk about this, and especially when someone's new coming to AO. I think it's the character count too. I just need to figure out how much cash do you need to complete this retranslation? I just need time. So it's if I was able to do this full time, if I was able to get to, full-time wages with the YouTube channel and everything, that would be its own thing. I would literally just do this every day, except for op inflation when we need to. So it's not so much cash to finish it. This will keep me sort of able to focus on this as I need to. All right, let's see if this fixed it. It did. Good. Got rid of it. Yeah. I got to tell you, man, $224. It's fine. I can fix it later. I'm going to ask it to fix the Croner thing too. Would you say your previous recorded reading suffered a lot because of mistranslation quirks? I will say so if we go before the QC existed, my early readings of this absolutely personified and anthropomorphized desire in a really fucked up way. I was coming at it from Zizek, Lacan, and other things that I have a better understanding now than I did then. But my original reading, completely different. And as I've been very lucky, and I think those who've been able to join the readings have experienced it too, the ability to have people go, now what he's actually driving at, what he's actually saying here. Like, that's the part that's like, oh, cool. All right, one sec, I have to restart my Python. Droop, 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 droop. Is this, which one? Where's my Python terminal? Yeah, that's my web server terminal. Good. All right, chat is going to be fucked up for a second. Just deal with it. Boom, boom. Check the live stream. Did it. Got the channel. Come on. Come on, chat. Connect. All right. There. We will see how long that lasts. See if it's fixed. It should have fixed the... I always love how easy it is. It's like, Claude, where's my problem? And it's like, oh, you were doing original amount, or there was a variable amount string instead of USD, which why would I ever just want to take the pure number? Like, it's just such a very strange thing. So, Raiko, you're famous. You're immortalized as giving far more money than you ever did before. Please, I hope it didn't break. Let's see. There it is. What's your favorite meal to eat on the 30th of June at 5:46? I mean, my favorite meal to eat anytime is a Chicago hot dog that's properly made, ideally from Portillo's if I can get it, but, you know, has to be one that has the steam buns and all the right stuff. It's a big deal. All right. Working, connected, we'll find out more. That's the point of today. Today is technical as a thing. If you read Daniel Dennett, he called those boom crutches. It's accurate. Common misconceptions. Well, that's one of the things I originally like debated on is like, do we just list like misconceptions? But the problem is like, we'll get through the rest of this paragraph and you'll see kind of the absolute nightmare that exists when it comes to how the underlying language pushes you in a very particular way to understand this, which is the Hurley understanding, which, you know, I appreciate the work done on the book, but this is not the translation. This is not the majority of people who end up doing things with this. There's this weird gulf that happens to exist in the Western tradition of Deleuze. People who've taken his readings and they've read only, not the French, but they've read the English. They run with it in one way. And then when you go read like all these people who are in his tradition following him in French, it's incredibly like different. The traditions are different. There's a reason we ended up with fucking Nick Land and Mark Fisher, and they end up with like La Poujade and Jean-Claude Martin and like these insane fucking thinkers that are doing amazing stuff. It's, I believe, fundamentally misunderstanding the fucking book. It sucks. Well, let's keep going. Like this is, so all these annotations are stored. Look, see, saved even after refreshing and editing stuff. That JSON file ain't going anywhere. However, they are trying to distance themselves from the idea, from the concept. What did I write originally? One sec. I have so many notes. This is like forcing me to like redo all my notes, which are a mess, which I'm really excited about. There, we'll do that. We'll name it this way. By translating "sa" as "id," Hurley performs the error D&G denounce, converting the impersonal pronoun into a psychoanalytic concept, reintroducing the very territorialization they are attacking. Abso-fucking-lutely. The English Wikipedia page on AO is atrocious. Atrocious. Well, then let's go to the next one. Everywhere. These are machines, not at all metaphorically, machines of machines with their couplings. I think in the original French, they have the dash. No, this is the English, they have the dash. This is where it's fun. This is the fun one. Estelle, here we go. Ready? Partout ce sont des machines, pas de tout morphe. Métaphoriquement, des machines of machines. Not at all. Pas du tout. Métaphoriquement, des machines of des machines. So the original English, which I don't want to have in here. I don't want to fucking have it referenced. I'm going to end up coming back to it. Mostly this is now just bitching. So the original Hurley version says, everywhere it is machines. Real ones, not figurative ones. Machines driving other machines. Machines being driven by other machines with all their necessary couplings and connections. like there is so much added to this fucking sentence in that translation. So this would be my first thing. French people can tell me. Partout ce sont des machines. Everywhere are these machines. I need a live bot organizer, a notebot live. I need so many things. Partout ce sont des machines. Everywhere are these machines is, I think, the better translation than what I have there. Am I wrong on that, Estelle? Everywhere these are machines is what I currently have. But partout ce sont des machines is everywhere are these machines. Anyone? Anyone? I'm waiting for Estelle to yell at me. If anyone speaks French, by the way, you can also yell at me too. That's fine too. Yeah, it's it could be everywhere there are machines. Everywhere are these machines. I think there's a lot of ways to sort of pull it apart. Partout literally means everywhere. It's an expansive term. Wherever, anywhere, everywhere, widely, things like that. ICE is implementing drones to assist the arrest concerned by Christy Nome. I want them to continue ramping up. As awful as that sounds, they are doing the very thing that Americans are clearly against. Keep doing it. I think it makes more sense if you translate the entire sentence and not just the first part. Well, I mean, sure. This is the attempt here. Everywhere, these are machines. Everywhere there are machines. Not at all metaphorically, machines of machines. Not at all metaphorically, machines of machines. With their couplings, their connections. Like I said, it's just a very literal translation. I'm not... With their couplings, their connections. I'm genuinely, it's just wildly different than the English. I don't want to shit all over that translation. I don't want that to be the project. It's one of the challenges of this. Like, that's why I didn't include it explicitly. You buffered? Oh shit, really? One sec. That's on your guys' end. YouTube says, my stream health is excellent and has given me no warnings. No warnings at all. So, interesting. That's weird. It gave me nothing. The French is unconventional, and that's, I mean, again, this is their language that they're using. They're playing with it. The whole point is, what an error to have said the it, and then they took it and ran with it as everywhere it is machines. No, because everywhere it is machines presumes again the it. But there isn't the it. What a mistake to have ever said the it. Everywhere it is machines. They don't say that. Everywhere are these machines. Everywhere these are machines. It's tough in English because we don't have the exact same, like the opening, machines of desire. Les machines désirantes is like a post-participle referent. We do not have them in English. Like flatly, as much as I would love to say English, and I think English is incredibly expressive, there are things we do not fundamentally have. And so how do you get that across? Say and sa are related to, well, again, these things play in the original French. Third person plural, not singular. Well, again, everywhere it is machines, to say that in the translation is like I mean, I find it horrifying. But then to say things like all the necessary couplings and connections, what the fuck? That's not, that they don't even have that word. So I've got to come back and I've got to figure this one out. This one has bothered me. I've been trying to figure it out. Yeah, they changed it to a singular for literally no reason. They do this throughout. But it's the frustration here for me is like, the whole point is that this is a literal, non-metaphorical nature of the machines of desire. The machine is not a metaphor for desire. Desire is machinic. What about everywhere machines? Preserves the ambiguity admitted. It, machine is at work. Can also machines are everywhere. They are machines everywhere. Well, this is everywhere. These are machines. These machines are everywhere. These machines are everywhere. Partout des machines. Machines are everywhere. Actually, that could work. That could work, actually. That could work. That could work. Everywhere machines. Yeah, it's everywhere machines. Partout ce sont machines. Everywhere machines. Like, because again, this is the whole point of this fucking thing as a setup. So we've got everywhere these are machines. But one sec, I'm writing someone. Everywhere these machines. I think there's a... The English translation is trying to add things to it. This is the... Because it's tough. So if we have in the French, so we have partout ce sont des machines. The ce sont is are. It is the existent verb to exist. It's not a demonstration. It's a combinative thing as the whole. So it would have to be everywhere are these machines, I think. Everywhere are these machines. Partout ce sont. Everywhere are des machines. Everywhere are... That could work. Everywhere are these machines. This might just be a flip because of... I mean, I'm being very literal when I'm going across. Everywhere are machines. There's no these. Everywhere are machines. The nature of machines is to be everywhere. The nature of everything is machines. Everywhere are machines. And I think that's what I'm going to go with. Everything are machines. I think that these... I mean, I can say that this is referring actually... because it's awkward, but I'm going to say it's everywhere are machines. Yeah, everywhere are machines. I'm going to say everywhere are machines. So, as we go through and we find moments like this, which is why I happily wrote this actually awkwardly, click the correction and apply it. Wait. Oh. Everywhere are machines. And I think it would actually be better in English. Everywhere are machines. The subject in the sentence is well, it's everywhere are these machines. Everywhere the machines, it functions everywhere. Everywhere he's referring to at this point, it functions everywhere. The it is what he's referring to. The it, which is machinic, is everywhere. So the whole point would be, more or less, you'd be saying everywhere the it that is machines. Everywhere. So this is the fun part. I like this. Everywhere it is the case. Partout c'est la même chose. Everywhere it is the case. Everywhere. Is everywhere operative as in everywhere it can be seen as more like, well, so this is not, this would be talking about teaching people in this sentence with our understanding of Deleuze. I'm more just trying to get like the actual wording to translate over with a at best minor understanding. So it's not so much adding things like when they add when Hurley adds with their necessarily couplings and connections. Necessary is a fucking huge thing to sort of lay in there. Like it's a huge thing to lay in there. And I could say, I would probably disagree, but I could say that makes sense, but it's not actually in the thing. It's not actually in the words. It's not in what they're trying to get across here. Lucia, machines are everywhere. Everything is machines. What narrative of the it? Machines are everywhere. Well, so the transition he's making in the sentence, and this is the point of the switch when he says, Quelqu'un devrait douter ça, partout ce sont des machines, pas du temps. He's making the translation everywhere it is machines. Like I get why they make the claim. English sucks for this. No, you're not wrong. I get why they make the move where they say everywhere it is machines. That's the way that they go with it, because he is talking about the like that sub layer that is the unconscious that is driving things. But again, to say it is singularizing. It's utilizing the registers of the id in a really weird way, in a particular way. Machines everywhere, and not a heat to sink. Des machines is an indefinite. Des machines is indefinite. It is not set machines. So it technically just says machines. It's not really saying, yeah, say and saw are used differently, which isn't the case in English. Well, English has its own poetry. It's just got to be said differently. You just say it. Well, and again, do you? Would you just say it? I don't know if you would. I think you can, but this is all the machines. It's like atoms make up everything, but machines make up everything in a sense. Well, this is kind of the thing is that it's not that machines make up everything. Like this is if you want to talk about the weirdness of this, and it's one of the reasons that saying desiring machines versus machines of desire, the impulses are the machines. The impulses of desire are the machines themselves, where they are connecting, hitting, building, running into each other, flaying off, interfering, whatever it is. Everything that is machines. It's not that it's machines at the base layer that produce desire. That puts a really weird onus on like, well, then what are machines made of? Well, machines are actually made of desire. It's actually desiring machines, but it's machines of desire. Yeah. Everywhere there are machines. This is kind of what I'm thinking it is too. Everywhere there are machines, I think is where I'm going to land too. So I do a correction. Everywhere there are machines. Boom. Big old red fucking angry thing, but also tracked. So we know how many times people have corrected me or I've corrected myself. And the whole thing goes, and it survives refresh. Chat does not, by the way. That's its own thing. But it survives refresh. So this will just be ongoing. It's backed up as it goes. So as we just go, it's just going to be continually growing and fixing itself. And then the whole thing can be exported. And I can always come back on the 5th reading and change it all. Anton says, so we don't separate machines and desire. Well, yes. It's random 3po. I like that. You just need a close enough translation, then like 6 to 7 pages of rambling explanation that ends with, in short, the Norman conquest should have gone further. I like that. But yeah, we don't separate machines and desire, but we understand that desire operates machinically. So the way that the things interact is machinic, but the way that they come together over time operates in an organism, an organic sort of format. And that shift is one of the big deals of what Anti-Oedipus is about breaking the divide we generally have between the machinic and the organic. We tend to think of one as, machine with gears and parts, and the organic is like this whole that's a little bit fuzzier and all of that. They're doing away with that. So for them, and it is fundamental, there are not machines that produce desire. Desire is what makes up the machines. That's it. Have you seen her textbook translations? They ramble and contradict the text they translate. The Luna Oi way. I have not seen her textbook translations because she's not translating anything that it would be like just the ramblings of a madman. And that would be more interesting. That would be more interesting, I think. But to continue, translation I have. Machine organ is connected to a source machine. One emits a flux, which the other cuts, which is, again, le machine organ est branché sur une machine source. L'un émet un flux que l'autre coupe. It's a wildly different translation than the Hurley. Hurley has an organ machine plugged into an energy source machine. One produces a flow, the other interrupts. So this would be where we add we're going to add an annotation here about flux and also interrupts, but we'll do flux first. We'll do this. Flux is used throughout this translation as it is in the original French. Commonly translated as flow. I'm not even gonna. Oh, fuck. That's like its own thing. Where's my essay on flux and all of that shit? I need to find that. Oh, I'm watching his stream chat. Don't worry, I got Anton up. Plus, that's even better. I'm still getting used to. I got a wonderful keyboard. I genuinely love it. Drunk Deer makes Hall switch keyboards, and it's it's great. I just needed something smaller on my desk. I have a behemoth that is clunky and very loud when it types, which I used to like. But I switched over to Hall switch, Hall effect switches, and it's taken me a lot to get used to because they are crazy more. Sensitive is not the word. The typing experience is very different. So I've been embarrassingly learning to type in front of everyone as I'm redoing all of that. So let's stick with this. Liz. Specify, you get to deal with this for a second. Within the substance. See more from, I'm just going to say more, see more from Terrence Blake, who fucking nailed this. And I'll put the link in there later. Yeah, my guy said fuck Discord. I did say fuck Discord, but that's just its own thing. JSON scripts do not change. Remember that, kids. Yeah, no, this is a permanent. Sticks with it. This doesn't shift over time. That's the whole idea. Now, why did this do this? And now, why is that there? That's new. That's a new error. That's what I wanted to find. Yay. At least favorite shit. If anyone knows, by the way, why that shows up, feel free to tell me. I know why. I know why. Because I did it too close. I did it too close. Let's find out. Why is it doing this? That's new. That's good. I like new. New is good. New is good. Because it moved it. This is an HTML code error. This is going to take, I'm going to have to do this off screen. That's going to be a fucking annoying one. So when I delete it, yeah, it goes right away. It perfectly sets itself back up. Thousand new patrons up by February. Brooks will live stream for 10 hours and at Gamer Weatherspoon. It's got to be an HTML thing. Because it's a highlighting of the annotation of the thing. Let me just see if Claude can fix it quick. Sorry. Yeah, whatever. I don't care. And I honestly don't give a shit. I'm not going to, let's see what happens. Yeah, it was definitely that. So I did this. This is my fault. So it's fixing my fault. That's fine. I created different functions for corrections and annotations because that made sense to me. But because of that, they interfere with each other. So, all right, let's see what happens. Please don't break. Okay, good. And then we go flux. This is my ramble about flux. I'm not typing it all again. I gotta tell you, fucking nothing like quick, easy fixes for insecure software you don't give a shit about security for. All important stuff if you're using AI to code things. But that's just crazy how fast it fixed that. Got new linear switches. I got to tell you, Hall keyboards are, it's weird as a thing because they're magnetically set off, which is its own weird nightmare. There it is. Machine. That's right, YouTube channel. Good. It's all working again. I'll come back and do flux another time. Time to find more bugs. I actually don't know if I have more bugs. We're going to find out. Also, if you have ideas for things, feel free to throw them at me. Like, again, this was something I've been trying to put together. As I showed last week, I have like 3 or 4 different builds for like annotation websites. So I can have this exported from here and then put into a digital version that can display. But I really want to try to have it more complexly set up so that way people can be finding themselves and sort of exploring in a different way the entire text, which is, I think, a lot of the point of it. So let's keep going for now. We'll see if we find more organs and problems. The breast of the machine produces milk, the mouth, the machine coupled to that. Just weird choices on their part in the original. How much did I super chat for bug detection? Literally like every dollar should be able to go towards it. So there's no solar anuses show up at every level. And actually, specifically, Lyco, if you're up for throwing 10 kroner at me, that would be good to know if it counts it as $10 still. So they have a phrasing in here that I think changes the meaning again. So the breast as a machine produces milk, the mouth a machine, coupled to that one. This matches, just boringly matches the original French in every way. Dark mode only. I will see what I can do if I can. Man, dark mode could be interesting. Let's see if Claude can give me a dark mode really fast. Let's find out. Dark mode wouldn't be a bad idea. It's not bad. It's not a bad idea. Yellow and black? I don't know what yellow and black. Yellow and black's terrible. Nope. It did the correct amount. Thank you. Thank you, Wyko. That is the correct amount of what I actually get. That's fantastic. It actually turned it to 96 cents. That's a correct conversion rate. Happy day. Look at all them buttholes. Thank you very much, Wyko. You are fantastic. I appreciate it, because if I had to do like the fake ones, then the fake stays in there, and I don't want to have any of my stuff staying in there. Yellow and black is amazing. That's terrible color scheming. I'll figure out what I can do. Matrix green on black. We're not that. Like if I were to be, it'd be like the dark, like the nice green terminal style, but we'll see. Do they convert Canadian dollar dues into real dollars? They convert everything. It should convert everything. That emoji still makes me smile. I've had people like write me and go, dude, are you over the fucking goatsy stuff? And I'm like, never. Never, ever, ever. Never, ever, 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 ever. Slayton Muslim Wednesday. We'll see. So in the original, in the English version of this, and it's actually pretty interesting. It's a minor change, but I think it's fundamental. Oh, very nice. I went to philosophy meetup thanks to you, Brooks. Really? Well, fucking awesome. I made someone touch grass. That makes me feel happy. Yellow and black is what I use on browser workstations. I can't. I get dark mode. For me, it's like gray with like a white or excessively light gray text. In like I can't do full dark mode. I know some people who can. It makes my eyes hurt just so fucking much. Let's see what Claude did. Not quite. Close though. Close. It didn't shift the text around. I do like that it changed my colors to the AO colors, the QC colors. You want to get freaked out. It's that stuff that just they remember. These programs remember. It's fucking crazy. Full black dark mode is too much. I agree. I need to get the background color changed too. And change stats. That's okay. We'll get that going. I like this translation. I just think it's very good. The point of this is they want to sort of talk about the binariness of machines, that these things connect. The breast mouth is a paradigmatic version of desiring machines, right? That they're going to be going through. That's like the entire point. And they use breast because it's in psychoanalysis. It is the first. The breast is like the first connection, the connection with mother, blah, blah, blah. And instead of thinking about it as a child attaching to the mother's breast, they're actually going out of their way to say, no, this is connections of machines. It's machines of machines all the way down. It's machinic coupling. Particularly, they're starting with this to lead into. Still not happy with partout, ce sont des machines. To say is demonstrative. Everywhere there are machines is non-demonstrative. I agree. Oh yeah, trust me. I've been back and forth on this quite a few times. Trust me. Is this part of why some people can't help see design behind nature? Well, that's representational thinking. It's placing the humanity in everything instead of like understanding the human as contingent and emergent, and that it isn't a thing itself, but instead an organization of things, or the way that the things are arranged that produce a very particular power structure in and of itself. If that makes sense. I'd probably phrase that as a thing. Yeah. So let's see. Boop. There it is. Better. Better? It's a nice one. Should be okay. I think this is okay so far. Gotta get the background changed. Generally happy with it. Can I get 2005 MySpace page graphic design? Thank you. I am trying for literally like the shittiest version of that. So yes, you're spot on. So let's do this guy. Let's do here, annotate. In traditional psychoanalysis, that's going to be annoying. That's a bug. I'll come back to you. The say doesn't refer to any objects in particular. That's the point of it too, Estelle. That's the thing. This is why, like, look, some is spot on. These in the sense of it's. Yes, if you mean it's in like the global plural, it's like there are it's everywhere. Yes, that's kind of the thing. For now, we're going to leave the white setup because I want to get this next thing in there. So we annotate. Let me put it back in. Traditional psychoanalysis. meanings. Should be fine. Seems to be working. Good. Let's see what happens when I refresh here. And then we go back to, there, got that. Yeah, did not fix the annotation. Let's see if it's also corrections. Yeah, it's also that. Probably needs to be a way to annotate corrections. But yeah, well, you know what? That's actually a thing I should find out right fucking now. Can I annotate? There it is. Okay, so I can't annotate corrections. Let me see. If you feel ripped off, I know. Terrible. The pink highlighted text is actually the worst readability my eyes have ever seen. I do what I can. I think I'll change that to a yellow highlight. I don't know why it switched to pink. I didn't choose that. That's fine. The green is almost unreadable, though. That's for fucking sure. Let's find out. There's only one edition of Anti-Oedipus in French. It's made cheaply, but it's still like $50. I have a first edition of it, too. I also have a regular edition, like one from like 5 years ago. But I have a first edition of AO that is from, we looked up, there was a weird thing that they did in the English is they named a documentary. It's in section 3, chapter 3 or 2, I can't remember, where they're talking about, who was it? What's a famous, it doesn't matter. Talking about some general in Vietnam. And they named a documentary that didn't exist until 2 or 3 years after Anti-Oedipus was printed. And I went and looked at the French, and it names a different documentary that was actually a very obscure French art house documentary, which has the scene they're talking about in it, but the new one doesn't have that scene. And this made us go, well, is it in the original? And we don't know. So I had to buy a fucking first edition to find out. All right. There we go. Okay, now I can annotate your annotation. Enter your annotation here. It's fine for now. That English does not utilize. You think everywhere it is machines is better? It could be. But in the French, there's an edge to that. Everywhere it is machines. Instead of everywhere it is machines. In English, it. Is there a way to add thin white outline to text when highlighted? Thin contrasting. First reading's next week, and it'll be every Tuesday noon, every time. And we don't do the introduction. Foucault's introduction is terrible. So we're starting straight into the book. We're going to basically be redoing this section next week. So everywhere, these are machines. Oh, look, it pulled the HTML in again. Good. I like finding bugs. That's what today's about. Because next week this is a dress rehearsal. So if I delete that, it goes back. All right. Noon Eastern? No, noon Pacific. Noon Pacific. PST. 2 hours ago, whatever time it is right now, 2 hours ago, move forward 7 days. This is when the reading normally is. Same thing. Everywhere does it, the way you are saying, refer to something specific? No. But it's sort of, it refers to it, which is, that's a very complex response, Brooks. I know. Thank you. I really do a good job of not answering things specifically. Let's talk about the word it. Logic of sense. We're pulling it up. Because this is the part that I think is really worthwhile. That is the worst fucking PDF ever. I know that one. No, we're going to switch. We're going back to boop, 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 boop. It, where are you? 1 second. All right. There's a sentence in Alice in Wonderland. The mouse recounts when the lords proposed to offer the crown to William the Conqueror. This is quoted. The Archbishop of Canterbury found it advisable. Found what advisable? Asked the duck. Found it, the mouse replied rather crossly. Of course you know what it means. I know what it means well enough. When I find a thing, said the duck, it's generally a frog or a worm. The question is, what did the Archbishop find? It is clear that the duck employs and understands it as a denoting term for all things, states of affairs, possible qualities, an indicator. It specifies even that the denoted thing is essentially something which is or may be eaten. Everything denoted or capable of denotation is in principle consumable or penetrable. Alice remarks elsewhere that she is only able to imagine food, but the mouse made use of it in an entirely different manner, as the sense of an earlier proposition, the event expressed by the proposition, to go offer the crown to William. The equivocation of it is therefore distributed in accordance with the duality of denotation and expression. The two dimensions of the proposition are organized in two series which converge asymptotically in a term as ambiguous as it, since they meet one another only at the frontier which they continuously stretch. One series resumes eating in its own way, while the other extracts the essence of speaking. For this reason, in many of Carroll's poems, one witnesses the autonomous development of two simultaneous dimensions, one referring to denoted objects, which are always consumable, or recipients of consumption, the other referring to always expressible meanings, or at least objects which are the bearers of language and sense. The two dimensions converge only in an esoteric word, a non-identifiable aliquid. A liquid is an old fucking philosophy term, Greek term. It means like something, a something. Take, for example, the refrain of the Snark. They sought it with thimbles, they sought it with care, they pursued it with forks and hopes. Where the thimble and fork refer to designated instruments, hope and care to considerations of sense and events. Sense in Carroll's work is presented as that which one must take care of. The strange word snark is the frontier which is stretched as it is drawn by both series. This is the whole point for him. It, as a thing, is a very unique terminology. Ultimately, it's a very, very special word of a thing. This is only in the fourth series. Like, this is early things, and the use here is not. And again, this is in the original French. It's the same exact thing when he's putting it in quotes. It's the exact same thing. What are the its in it breathes, it heats, it shits, it fucks? Well, this is it's the its. That's the point. Like, this is why in French it reads infinitely better, because the way that the phrasing can work allows, and we'll just show it again, it allows these things to actually be all speaking about the something that works. It functions, voilà, c'est respect, sans cheval, sans chef, sans mange, sans chien, sans basse, qu'elle va du ça, partout, these are the its that are part of this. What an error to have said the it. Everywhere, it is machines. But again, that's now saying it, driving at it. Frustrating. Thus, why it's frustrating. All right, 1 second. We're going to see if I can do this now. Annotate. The original French. 1 second. Which is, let me copy it in. Been watching too much Monty Python in the background lately, I think. See, now you're making me rethink this. It could be everything. No. I mean, I don't. As far as I know, like, I don't. Partout is like. I think it comes best across as everywhere, as the totality of things. I don't think everything works there. This is where it's fun. This is the fun stuff, I think, as discussions go. There, that fixed that. So, and the these is why I had originally, because they are referring to it's everywhere. It functions everywhere, somewhere without interruption, sometimes discontinuously breathes, it eats, it shits, it fucks. Quelle devant la sang. What an error to have said the it. Everywhere. Partout, c'est son. It's just English doesn't work with it. It's just English is so frustrating for this one. Because you could just say machines everywhere. So that's not it. You could say everywhere it's our machines, which is probably the closest, actually. Everywhere it's our machines. Partout ce sont des machines. Everywhere it's our machines. Ce sont, it's just such a fascinating, like French is so interesting, genuinely. I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. I don't have an answer for that one, but that's okay. We're just going to keep sort of talking through and finding errors, because right now I just want to test this one. We do annotate. Yeah, so we go here. So the machines in the original French becomes an untranslatable. I mean, I don't, as far as I'm concerned. Because it's, did chat break or did I stop? Are you guys still here? You guys are still here. Good. Structure doesn't work. All right. Ce sont third person plural. Fuck, it's crazy because it's ce sont instead of say, like, because it normally we would say c'est. That's not typing correctly, Brooks. Means literally it is, which means this actually translates as it are. I'm not wrong. Ce sont would translate as it are. Everywhere it are machines. That's because that's the thing he's doing. He's making it plural. He's fucking with it. Say is this it are machines. To say it is singular. It you fuck it. Like if he meant to say it is, it would say se. C-E-S-T. That's what it would say. Am I fucking nuts? French is insane, but it's like such a fucking specific thing. Why do we not have that in English? Because if I do, these are, right? Everywhere these are machines. It's specifying that ruins what it is. There's no pluralizing like this in English. And cessant is actually like the point. Is chat breaking? Did chat break on this one? It looks like it broke. Did chat break? God damn it. Might have to restart the chat broke. Great. That's okay. I just need to restart the Python server. So you've been talking. I've been looking at my chat because that's the whole point. So I don't have to have 3 chat windows open. So let's go back and see what everyone's been yelling at me. Jesus Christ, everyone. Ce sont mes amis. Well, again, you wouldn't that mes amis is doing the pluralizing there. So we don't have that in English. It doesn't work the same way. It says is not really used in written forms, considered okay when talking but not writing. Interesting. So Pippa, cessant, I didn't say this are. I said it are. The same word say is used in singular and plural. Okay, so where's the plural for English? Say can be singular or plural. Well, there's no pluralizing. Again, in English, it doesn't work. Cessant or it are. To say it is to singularize. Like that's because they're talking about. The whole point is that there are its. They list the its. It functions everywhere, sometimes without interruption, sometimes discontinuously. It breathes, it eats, it shits, it fucks. What narrative have said? The it. And then we turn around and we literally say the it. These are would again become improper. One, it's super improper English on a couple different levels. The biggest being that it implies these. It implies that it's collapsing it to these are instead of the expansive emergent. It is collective. It is these is correct. I'm very, very hesitant to say these are correct. These are Ilya. You make it clear to understand by adding these its. Then I'd ask in the original French, as they're saying it, as this is being said, is it pointing to specifically something in the text? When it says partout cessant des machines, is it pointing to the earlier its, or is it pointing larger? Is it particular reference, or is it general reference with a T, not reference, reference? Is it the referent in context? Is it only those? It's the earlier sentence. Okay, good. Because that's the thing I didn't, and again, I don't know it that well. So then, so it'd be these its. What a mistake to have ever said the it. The challenge becomes, if it's literally referring to these its, because, and that makes sense. This is the language he's using, and partout ce sont would be these its that could fit. But I don't see it as pointing to specific things. Like the des machines is non-specific. Yeah, it's an ambiguity. The ambiguity is there. That's the point. Then the mistake would be in English, Lux, is to go, what a mistake to have ever said the it. Everywhere it is machines. Because it's, again, it for English is so singular, and it points singularly. It points very singularly. And that's not, this does not read singular at all. There's nothing in partout ce sont des machines that is fucking singular. It's the non-specificity that I think needs to carry through. And when I did this the first time, because I'm kind of going off of my notes from that, because we did our when we first started this, it's been 2 fucking years. My first run at this had everywhere, comma, it is machines, not at all metaphorically. I had that, and I stuck with it for a long time. And then, again, as I've started to read other French books and then sort of see how things are used, it just feels more and more wrong. Unless you have, if you're already coming to it with the understanding of like, oh, they mean all of it. But that's not at all what it starts with. It doesn't make that point. And so you're kind of loading things into that. I can make it less coherent. Well, that's the whole point of like making it just hyper literal. Which would be like having its are or it are machines. Like you could hyphenate it. Like everywhere it are machines. Like that's the tough part. So it's either we singularize it and it becomes it is, which means there's a singular, which I don't read in the original French at all. And also, by the way, doesn't fit with the rest of all of their writings on this, where they're very clear about there not being a singular it's. This is the desire, libido, impulses are everything, but it's not the impulse is everything and we're like all connected via some singular vibration or singular machine. No, that's like the hippie shit version of deleuze. If we were to say everywhere are machines, that would become like forcing grammar to do what it's not supposed to do. We could be existential with it and say everywhere there are machines. It is not its. It is machines concealed as plural. And it does not. It in English explicitly is singular. That's the problem. And unless you do, and you can do it by fucking with the words in the slightly less coherent version, which is the everywhere it are machines, which forces that sort of pluralistic take into it, because you can't pluralize it otherwise. So it has to be a break in the structure. What does the work? It's machines that do the work. No. That's exactly the problem. Because the machines do not do work. That's the whole point. That this is the challenge. Why is this fun? Explicitly in the original, they actually do not say it is at work everywhere. It is actually, that's in the English translation. It's actually, it functions everywhere, because desire is machinic and machines are desire. It's a coextensive thing. It's not that machines are working. It's that desire is functioning. Desire does what it does. And so it's everywhere. It are everywhere. The machines are the work. Yeah, machine. That's the thing. And machines are desire. It's all desire all the way down. But it's not us. You don't have an id. You don't have a machine that is driving you, an id or a desire machine, or you aren't a desire machine. That's the opposite of this whole thing. Not the work, the fact that you can say it is machines in English. What produces and interrupts fluxes? It's machines that produce. But I mean, you're making my point of why the problem is actually really important. Because yes, it's a machine that cuts, but what are machines? Machines of machines. And it is desire. The force, the libidinal forces. That's the fun part. It's and I when you go through and you look at like how people have translated this stuff in the past, they literally just skip caring about sort of that odd way that French operates here. Because French operates different. This is a very different thing. The German versions of Anti-Oedipus, if you were to translate them, they actually do a really weird thing. They go, everywhere machine work is actually, I think, better how it's translated. Because they have their own sort of weird way of handling these things. But the sort of archaic, everywhere are machines are everywhere. Everywhere work maschinen. I mean, that's more or less, as far as I understand it, I have it somewhere. And it's fascinating. Can it be they is third person plural? Like this is the challenge with English. If we're going to be demanding that it's these, which it could clear through. It's a whole thing. Let's annotate. The French is not literally translatable as, let me copy it over, make sure we get to it. Boop, boop, boop. And eventually I'll actually just be able to have It's fine for now. And it didn't save it. Refreshing. No, didn't save it. That's there. That's there. But I have 6 annotations. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 2 missing. That's definitely bug. That's annoying. Everywhere they are machines. All right. Everywhere they are machines. And again, sure. But then that personifies it. Like, again, the language has things baked into it in English. It's a nightmare. This is a nightmare. This one's tough. And it's one of the things that they're playing with the French language. And it is so, the French version is almost lyrical in a sense because it plays in a way. Do desire machines suffer from being organized, or is it the BWO? We ain't there today. We ain't there today, Malachi. Reading starts next week. The sentences will say everywhere is machines. Yeah. Most people would read it as intended. Brooks is getting caught up in the frailties of English language. Well, yeah, it's important. Let's see. I might have to go into the JSON and actually delete. One sec. I have to actually edit this real quick because I have to do this manually. All right. There they are. Yeah. So they saved, but they didn't highlight, which is really interesting. Let's see. So let's get rid of it. Let's get rid of both of them. And then re-import it back in. See if this fails me. Oh, shit. What did I do wrong? So if you end there, where the fuck does this JSON end? Where the fuck does this entry end then? You go there to there. Oh, I did a bad thing. I did a bad thing. Let's see if that does it. I hate brackets. Good. Okay. They didn't have an error. Is this still working? Good. Are you guys still in that first one? You are. Still saying 6 annotations, though. Oh, that's because I didn't update that. All right. There, fixed. Good. I can actually go in and edit the money amount later, too. That'll work. Okay. We're busy heckling professor over words. Yes, basically. which is fine. That's the whole point of this. The Russian translation I found does away with the whole problem, and this part is structured everywhere - machines. That's actually not a bad way to handle it. That's actually not a bad way to handle it. Actually, that might be, because that skips all of the awkwardness of what English adds to that. Russian is funny, but I'm obviously not going to put it in Cyrillic here. But like everywhere, machines. I can't correct a correction. Interesting. Let me see what I can do here. So here are my corrections. 1 second. I'm going to get rid of that. All text is going to be these are, and the new text should be a dash. Import you here. Boop. Everywhere, machines. I actually got to tell you, Russian, the language is so fucking contextual. One of my close friends who I worked with for like 2 straight years at Lucas was a Russian named Ruslan. Is amazing dude. Like genuinely one of my favorite people. It still is. We haven't talked in years, but I feel like he's a brother I never have to talk to. He got the better end of the whole thing. He would teach me lightly about Russian. He didn't really know much English. We would sit with Google Translate. This was 2010 or 11 on our phones open. And he'd say something and Google would translate it to English. And then I'd go back and forth. He learned English very well this way, and actually fantastically. I learned nothing ever. But what I did learn is like the structure of the Russian language and how it functions and how insane, like, and this sounds weird and I'm probably incorrect when I say it, but the way that tonality and words flow into each other is far more like an Asian language than it is a Western language. And the structure of it is just utterly fascinating. It's incredible. And it makes it really weird when you talk about like translating directly. You need to, if you're Russian, he learned this, you have to speak in like a Western Russian version that like is able to be translated, because otherwise it's, and not even casual. It's to say like, oh, it's a casual version. That's not really what it is. It's just, you need to speak in a way that can be over. It's really weird. I really like it. You're also missing the column after metaphorically. Wait, what happened? You're missing the column after metaphorically. Let's look. Has the toe metaphorically de machines and machines. The original French does not have a comma there. I know in the Hurley translation they add one. Like random 3 Russian is basically from Asia, but they spell it with fucked up Greek letters. That's probably actually, I don't even think you'd make anyone who speaks or reads Russian mad by saying that. They'd probably chuckle. Because it's not far from truth. It's fascinating. It's close to being Asian. Intonation matters so much. It matters hilariously so. But I actually like that solution, so we're going to go with that solution. Are you certain? Let's find out. You weren't saying comma. You are saying colon. You were saying colon. And why does my version not have a colon in there? It does in the other parts. This could be very frustrating as I go through this. That's okay. That's the whole point of this. Pas de toi, métaphoriquement, colon. Des machines, des machines. Yeah, actually. How good or bad is Spanish translation? I have no fucking clue. Look at me being helpful. So this is actually interesting because if it's a colon, let's just say like all of the punctuation works differently. Let's just say all of the punctuation works differently. Everything works differently. Time to learn about colons. Stella's colonizing the chat. I need to get my goatsy. I can actually, I'll figure that out. I can do that offline. I'm fascinated. So, like, it's grammatically horrifying English. Like I'm. Yeah, no, Lux, you're right. I don't know why I'm. That's fine. That's fine. I'll have to go through and look at why it's missing the colon. But even then, a colon is really. I just want to like make sure that these things function because, as it took me forever to figure out how quoting works. Oh, Peterson's sponsoring my streams. Happy day. I think we're just going to put the colon back in and just ignore for now. Not at all metaphorically. There we go. Correct here. Boop, boop. Yeah, with their couplings, their connections. Yeah, that actually phenomenal. Because then it's yeah, that's much more. It's much more it. It's my first edition. Just bragging a little. No, it got the other semicolon and colon in here. And yeah, it's got the rest are in there. Fascinating. I'm fascinated by this, actually, why that is missing. It might be because I keep fucking with the, like this first paragraph is what I've been doing all my coding on, like practicing and getting it back and forth. So I may have just deleted it accidentally. So, See, what the French is not proper, the English is following that. No, they're doing a thing specifically there. I mean, it's breaking up the sentence. It's intended as a thing to sort of play in that direction. It's an elaboration. That's it. Colons in English are really, they're reserved very particularly, and they're really not used like they are in French, and they should be. It's a really cool sort of pause, I have your attention, this continues my thought thing as a grammatical element. We just don't use it as an element. We really don't. Certainly not as often as French people do. French use it everywhere, and it always has like a slightly different edge to it. It's fascinating. But it's not used like this, which is breaking up sentences like this. It took me a second to like make sure I wasn't terrible, because it feels to me like a semicolon should be there. I can't get the Englishness out of my brain because of the commas that follow and the pluralizing, the explanation that is serialized afterwards. You use M dashes for something similar. Well played, ChatGPT. That's like the worst thing about ChatGPT is the use of M dashes is like, you can't anymore. Very frustrating. Very, very frustrating. But one emits a flux, the other cuts. Breast as a machine produces milk, the mouth a machine coupled to that one. And again, I'm not even going to talk about the Hurley translation there. The breast produces milk, the mouth a machine coupled to that. The mouth of the anorexic hesitates between a machine for eating, an anal machine, a machine for speaking, and a machine for breathing. Asthma attack. They say a mouth of the anorexic wavers between several functions. I fucking hate that phrasing. Like it's literally, it translates so cleanly. Because it several functions. Its possessor is uncertain as to whether, like, the elaboration of the subject that is the anorexic is wild to me. The machines are impersonal. It's pre-personal. So to say that the subject, the possessor here, as a thing is uncertain, it puts the neurotic in the individual. It makes them as the choosers. It's just terrible. The mouth is the agent. That's the point. The mouth is the machine. It hesitates between this. It's not about subjective experience. The mouth of the anorexic hesitates. I'm going to do annotation here. It is not about subjective experience as it is in trad psychoanalysis, but instead about the machinic potentials. The mouth machine has many potential connections. It is not a confused subject. It is thus, this is one of my favorite ones too. It is thus we are all tinkerers, each with his little machines. Hurley calls them handymen. Bricoleurs in the original French is a tough one. But specifically, bricolage is the Straussian thing that they're pulling from. Bricolage is the building of idols or elements or things, artistic elements with the things that are around, would be the way to put it. There's a reason that Strauss talks about this, because it isn't so much, and it's an important step for Strauss, it isn't so much that like, oh, these people worshipped this thing and that's why they used it. It's like, look, it's not really that. That presumes there's a predetermined plan that this this creator's going with. They're like, hey, boy, I really want this. And it happens to be that that thing's there. That's worse. This is where you'd keep the original French. The bricoleur, I debated this. And the problem is bricoleur, bricolage has actually made its way into the English setup. Bricolage, not bricoleur. Bricolage is absolutely used. It's a thing that is esoteric, but it is absolutely a term people use. It implies kind of something built like art with the bricolage of things around it. Children make this. Bricoleur is a particular phrasing that I think is, I mean, I'm down. Maybe it's best to bring it in and just have a note. That's probably fair, actually. That's probably fair. So it'd be bricoleur. No, Brooks. That's terrible. Bricoleurs. And I'm going to put it in quotes, actually, because, oh no, I don't want to add to that. We'll just do it. And I'm going to add a note to the whole thing. Thus, we are all bricoleurs. We annotate. I'll add it before. I'll figure this out. Actually, no, I should figure it out now. So if I go to select this, And then I click annotate. That's the error I get. Good. Reproduction, always good. Yeah, I'll keep the French and annotate it. It's worth it. It's a Straussian term, so it gives people like there's a reason that they're using it. That's probably fair, because that's one of those things that's like, hey, they're pulling a concept directly from Strauss. Eliminating that would be fucking stupid. Yeah, I think there's and again with an annotation. Because the whole point is that they're pulling from Strauss. They're not just using some random fucking word. Like they're pulling from Strauss intentionally here. Because they do that later. Bricoleur is like a thing it's a motif that comes back up, but it's also a literal thing that comes back up as they're basically pulling from Strauss through Godelier. So probably worth it. Is thus we are all bricoleurs. Yeah, let me see if I can fix this. Cannot annotate that overlaps with a correction. That's fine. I'll put it afterwards. Straussy. And I want to make sure I get it right. Let's work the savage mind. It's terrible, Brooks. I'm going to say obscure. I'm not going to care about formatting these perfectly this time. So much mind. I need more tea. You're going to have to give me a minute. I'll be back. Need more tea. Need more. How you doing, Daddy girl? Daddy, you okay? Good girl. Right. You want to come say hi to everyone? You want to come say hi, sweetheart? Come here. Come here, sweetheart. It's okay. Come here. Come here. Come here. No? You don't want to? Come here. No? You just want to lay down? All right. Old dog. Can't stop you. You're a good pup, though. You're a good girl. What is with you? You're being funny. Why are you being funny? What are you doing? It's fucking dog. What are you doing? All right. Makes do with whatever materials are at hand. Improvising, not planning, and having preset plans. This is distinct from modern engineering. That's the end of that. Strauss's work. That is terrible, Brooks. What the fuck is wrong with you? And I'm just fucking just terrible. See, I don't have enough caffeine in me is the problem. There. Bricolage, bricoleur need to stay French and italicized as they're borrowed straight from Strauss. I can agree with that. I can agree with that. I don't have italics as a thing, and I probably should. All right, that one I'm going to give to Claude. So I can. Just let Claude run that one because I don't give a shit. It is, if you haven't used it, genuinely, again, this is the stuff that I think is the point. Saves so much time on just garbage little things. I could spend hours looking through CSS style sheets and go back and read someone else's poorly documented shit code. Or I can just go, hey, give me these things, do this button. And it fucking does it. I don't care. It's great. Solarianus is italicized. Actually, there's a lot of things italicized in the French text. So this is a fair thing. It's a fair thing. It's a fair thing. And also, the it is also italicized. The leçon, le, is italicized as well in the original. So that's actually a thing I should. And now we're going to find out if I can add corrections onto annotations and just break all of this. I'm probably going to change corrections to not show the original version, to actually have the new one in red, remove correction from next to it, and have the new one in red, and when hovered over, to show the original. Yeah, le is italicized. Yep. That's warm. It's a little too warm. That's okay, though. Now everyone in my stream chat is talking about various ways that languages work against each other, which is fun. If you want to join on Discord, you're welcome to discord.gg/DGQC. Wow, we've been going for 3 hours? Really? Fucking, really? No. Yeah. God damn. No, that's how it works. All right. Let's see if this happened now. Pop. Text goes away for chat. Bye, chat. All right. So we go, whatever mistake to have ever said. Yeah, so I can't re-highlight that. That's fine. I have to do it beforehand. I'll go in and do it afterwards. It's fine. But here, solar anus is definitely italicized. Yeah, got it. Boom. But I can fix that in, I can go ahead and fix that in post. That's easy. All right. That works. And don't know if I can italicize. Yeah, it's not letting me because bricoleur is not in the original text. That's okay. That's okay. I can, that's okay. Again, I can fix that in post. Yeah, that should work fine. Yeah, that'll work, I think. We'll find out. I can also add bold, which is nice. Everywhere, machines. Not at all. I got to tell you, I think that's actually an elegant, easy way to do it, and it skips. Yeah, it skips the nightmare. I like that. Good. Okay. So again, French. Sharon said petit machines everywhere with his little machines. Good. With his little machines. Une machine organe pour une machine énergie, toujours des flux et des coupures. Blah, 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 blah. A machine organ for a machine energy. Always flux and cuts. It's like literal, like psychotically literal. Again, I fucking beat myself up over this one because the original Hurley, for every organ machine and energy machine, all the time flows in interruptions. And like, I don't think any of that actually gets in there because the French has machine energy, which is important. And he shifts that around. He makes an energy machine. Why not stream more like this where it's boring work, be it script or modification nightmare? I mean, I'm doing it now. So most of these streams coming up are going to be a lot like this. Like literally most of these streams coming up are going to be a lot like this, to be frank. So Hurley also translates all the time for toujours, which, sure, but I prefer always. It seems like all the time versus always, I think, again, very different reference. There's a timelessness to what we're talking about. So it's not all the time. It's an always. To say all the time has a nounness to it in English. Oh no, I do that shit all the time. No, that's not, I do that always. Not the same thing, fundamentally. And again, flux and cuts is a thing that is a refrain literally through the entire book. The flux and cuts. To have it be, got his version of flows and interruptions. I don't even know what you say with that at that point. Because ultimately, again, they're restating the universality of that opening bit as sort of the structure of everything. The two operations of machines are the flux and the cuts, the surge, the flux and the cuts, the break in the flux. That's like the entire point. And this is the whole point of this is Bergson, for example, his Elan Vital, which you can say maybe Deleuze liked Bergson a little bit. Just so you know. But he liked him a little bit. And Bergson always used the term flux and cut. He didn't use flow. It's insane. It also comes from information and set theory and a whole bunch of other stuff. Flux and cuts is the basic vocabulary. That's the whole point. The whole point. And yeah, Mr. Goki, toujours is literally always. Yes. Yes, it is. It is literally always. De flux et de coupure. Coupure. It means cuts. It doesn't mean to interrupt. Like that adds, there's so much that adds to it. There's so much that fucking adds to it. But it's, again, a machine organ for a machine energy. And this is, to me, important because there's another change they made when they say this that I really don't like. For every organ machine and energy machine. No. I don't think that's what they're saying here. Instead, how I mean, again, I literally translated, the energy is the machine that is the energy. A machine organ for a machine energy, always flux and cuts. These things are always feeding into each other, always part and parcel with each other. They're always doing that. And then again, when we continue, the President Schreber, I have it as President Schreber, because technically, like, he's a presiding judge. This is a literal translation. Probably, I mean, I put in some of these so I can make sure I continually check this. Because it should be judge. Boop. There, done. And let's see if, boom. There. Cleaned up. I think that looks so much cleaner. Looks so much cleaner. Than the other shit. I like this. Judge Schreber has the rays of heaven in his ass. Again, it's a literal translation. I'm not doing anything really weird here. But to say Judge Schreber has sunbeams in his ass, there's a weird change here. Rays of heaven, they have rayons du ciel, C-I-E-L. President, they use judge. Well, so this has to do with a terminology thing. I went over this actually last week, laughing about this very paragraph. I mean, again, presiding, he is presiding. So you would actually say the president presides. We talk about the president as being like a thing, but it comes and it's derived out of he who presides, the presiding officer, the presiding element. We'll get to that four flames. The presiding element is kind of the thing. President is the elevated title that actually was used by Schreber in his writings. And it means, the judge, he wasn't really a judge. He was, I think the term is, Senatspresident. There's a weird fucking Schreberian phrase that he uses that I'm not familiar with. It's Austrian, German. I don't know, fucking entire language. But it's an elevated title. Judge Schreber is the shorthand we know, which is fine. It's perfectly fine, I think. So rays of heaven versus sunbeams. Rays of heaven is the rays of God. Rays of heaven, it's intended to be that. If we talk about sunbeams is almost like this weird twee domesticating bullshit that I don't care for at all. Rays, not beams, are important here because they're directed from God. They're the rays of God, rays of heaven. Four Flames brings up one of the ones that's really fun is this last bit. So the literal, this is, I think this is great. Du ciel dans le cul, which within, up his ass, within his ass. I have in his ass, which is, I mean, so the whole point is, like, I think it's great. I think it's, but is it in or up? It's a great question. Up his ass is probably more tonally accurate, but there's a side to it that is lost in that. Because if they are up his ass, they're coming out of his ass. In his ass is more clinical. Up his ass. Yeah, I mean, it's meant to be a crude statement. The way you'd say, like, fucking shove it up your ass. That's what they mean to be doing. The rays of heaven up his ass. They're meant to be like that. So actually it probably, yeah, I'm actually going to correct that. You've convinced me. So it's not in, it's up. Did that not save it? There. Rays of heaven up his ass. Solar anus. Don't be afraid to pronounce the K like carry for words like cool. Cool. Yeah, I don't. I'll pronounce it as I want to and go drink some cool de Bray wine. I'll do it as I want to. Yeah, it's the hot dog guy from Whore. I want to fuck you up the ass. That thing. It is 100% the guy from Whore. Hot Dog Man. Great meme. Horrifying movie. Not worth, by the way, as a thing. Do you ever call someone an organ to mean basket case? No, not really. And then the last bit, because again, I keep it mostly literal there, because that's it's a thing that's, again, recurring the particular language. And be sure that it works. President Schreber feels something, produces something, and can theorize it. This is a fun one I went back and forth on. Hurley's version. Rest assured that it works. Judge Schreber feels something, produces something, and is capable of explaining the process theoretically. The French, a little bit different. President Trevor, sans quelque chose. I'm not going to try, but it's, I think, again, it's not that you could say a better version than what I have is can theorize it, can make theory of it would be actually more accurate to the original. It felt clunky because put and faire la theorie can be made into theory. It can be made into theory, right? You can make theory of it. Saying the process, which isn't in French, and then expanding this thing to the capable of explaining theoretically is so fucking wordy and adds just so much. What's going on with upterruption, the up in the French too for some reason? What did I do? Where? Upterruption? Where did I have that? It's red. Upterruption. Oh, fuck, it is. One sec. I have to go check the file. Okay. What is it correcting? That's the first question. Wait, did that update? 229, that's not the new one. Where the fuck is it? Oh, there you are. Frustrating. Did Windows always have a refresh this window button? Didn't it always just used to refresh automatically when it would update a file? Am I losing my mind? I feel like this is a Windows 11 thing that like you'll download a file, you have the folder open and it won't show anything and you have to actually click refresh. Is that new? What the fuck? So frustrating. Okay. Let's go to the corrections. These are up. Where's the up? Old text in, new text up. What? Well, that can just get deleted. Well, I can just get wholly deleted, I think. Import. There. I have no idea what the fuck is up with upterruption. Sounds like OneDrive fuckery thing. This is not, is it? It's not, no, it's not in my OneDrive. It's not a OneDrive folder. So Windows, nope, not a OneDrive folder. It's in downloads, but it's in my user folder. But this is everywhere. This is on other things. It's across everything. I'll have to diagnose it later. But we figured out that one. So there you go. Let's go back. So it can explain the process theoretically is, so the very literal French, as they've got it sort of laid out, is that he can make theory of it, that he can theorize it, he can turn it into theory. If we're going to say that he can explain it theoretically, that is a different thing. Because that again places the subject in a sort of, he can take it in this, but instead of that he turns it into this. They changed some of the Windows Explorer things to push OneDrive, like how they changed a little preview. I am just not happy with that. I'm just not happy with that. I'm not happy with that answer. And now I'm going to go look, because now you fucking have upset me if that's the case. If they made everything this, that would be... I know everything's going to get worse. I know everything always gets worse. Son of a bitch. It is a fucking OneDrive sync conflict. Son of a bitch. Yeah, I'm on the latest, so that's great. I don't even have OneDrive installed. I've uninstalled it. They still have all these fucking conflicts and sync issues. Wonderful. That's just frustrating as shit. There's my conflict. Yes, it is. One sec. I have to restart the... I'm going to be turning all these into batch files. Right now I'm having to do it manually because I want to be able to know when things are restarting and when I'm having to do stuff, so that way I can be aware of it. But right now it's Python. Super chat listener dot py. All right. See if that restarts. Let's restart you. Refresh. I need to get a 5 icon, otherwise it's going to give me 404 arrows everywhere. Is my conflict? Yeah. I'm not switching to Linux. Sorry. I'm just not. I don't care. I have no interest, and it just doesn't do the things I want to do. I'm not fucking around with that. So that's the way it works. To continue where we were in theory. Rest assured in Hurley's I don't think works. Be assured. Be sure that it works. There's Judge Schreber again. Let's change that. That's fine. Judge Schreber. Did it again. Fucking fucked up every time. That's okay. That's why we're doing this today. Yay. Yay, troubleshooting. What am I reading now? Yeah, Judge's correction, simple, Schreber. Yeah, just fucked up. It's fine. This is literally the reason, like, again, this is the Claude easy, boring stuff. And I'm not switching to OS X. Are you fucking kidding me? No. Didn't Schreber want to be a woman? No, that's a misreading of Schreber's case, I think. Schreber's fascinating, but saying he wanted to be a woman, I'm hesitant to say. I think it's clear he had conflicts, many conflicts, but that's like the point of the case. Clearly corrected. I need to... Okay. Okay, it's... All right, we're going to do it again. Export this. Open it here. Still fucking doing that thing. That's just my favorite thing. I'm going to have to fucking... Okay, so we're going to find this. It is judges. It's this one. It's the one after... That's right before up his ass. Oh, wait, no. It's after in the JSON because I have it by time code. That's right. Okay. Yeah, because they're set by timestamps at the system. So let's go ahead and we'll eliminate all of that one. Save it. And then re-import. Uh-oh. Double quoted property. I did that again. Oh, I did. Yep, I see it. Extra comma. That's okay. There it is. Okay, fixed. Let's see if we can do it. Correct to judge. Apply. Did it again. All right, so what is happening in the console for this then? Why is that failing would be my... This is like the first interesting question here. So we go here, we go correct, we go judge, and apply. And it fails. It does the same thing again. Judge, it does it, turns it red, and then puts the correction in place. That's fascinating. I think it's fascinating. Limitations of vibe coding in real time. Yes, this is fair. There's limited vibe coding. This is not a complex. This is not complex HTML. This is just because I have some classes I miswrote. That's the way it works. It's the fun part. I think it's the fun part. I like doing this. I miss. I still have friends in game dev who, like, they'd send me their alpha builds because I have a weird talent for finding ways to break things. I'm currently playing, and I will be able to talk about a game I'm really excited about. A small little indie guy, but he's a good dude. I like Josh. His game's amazing. You should do your notes in JSON so you can easily import into Mongo and get drag on. That's all these notes are being exported into JSON as a thing. So I'm on my way there. It's not perfect yet, but it's getting there. Maybe I have a class idea. Oh, I'm sure I fucked up building this. Don't even get me started. I'm sure I fucked up in what I'm doing here. It's just the fun part is figuring out how. So the question is, where do I find this one? Judges is down here again. So what is the old text is president. We did it again. Why would it do this again? It's the same exact problem. Fascinating. Because it's... See, this is interesting. That's actually not... This is not that wild of a fucking edit, actually. Never even read Ayn Rand, but I've watched a lot of cartoons that make fun of her. Why? Well, first, people love shitting on women. leave it there. Ayn Rand was not a philosopher. She was a fiction writer and failed screenwriter, failed filmmaker who began writing about like this philosophy because she started talking to people in her circles, which she had found a way to sort of worm her way into wealthier, active, actors and money people. And her philosophy basically is like, you guys are cool as shit. And they went, we are. And she went, yeah, you're fucking awesome. And so a lot of people who really just suck as people, I don't know how else to put it. 1 second. Priority 1 corrections. So for each correction, 1 second, sorry. No, it's not. This should work fine. This should work fine. Why would this not work? Wait, why is that formatted like that? Sorry, 2 seconds. I promise. I don't promise anything, actually. That's a lie. I don't see an error in here. That's fucking frustrating. She was a bit of the Narvin of her day. It's not an unfair comparison, I think. She had about as much understanding of philosophy as Yarvin does. And again, is basically existed as a rich, powerful people deserve to be rich, powerful people. So whoever's doing that, they're always in power. It's the Calvinist preachers of early America. Same fucking thing. It's, hey, the rich and powerful? Totally. The Church of England or Church of any country that basically said, yeah, no, it's king totally here because God says so. And the king likes that, which means, they're in power. This is boring, but this is the thing. People have forgotten. It's someone linked a video about how philosophers hate women. And it's a really strange sort of misogynist fail-son take on philosophy that misunderstands how many women there are active in philosophy. So to go like, well, in history, and it's like, yeah, but women have been like an oppressed thing. And by the way, there have been women philosophers. We just don't talk about them. But today there are many of them. And they're in their 50s and 60s because they began going to school when women were allowed to go to school. They began doing that thing. It's the same way that like when you talk about, there aren't really a lot of black philosophers. It's like, yeah, but we didn't let them go to fucking college until like the 1950s. So like when you don't let someone have advanced degrees, they don't do advanced things. That's duh. It's just a childish understanding of things. All these people. It's frustrating. All right. So this bug is going to be sitting with me for longer than I'd like. So with that, I'm going to push back a little bit. We're going to go, hey, I'm going to say thank you. We're going to send you off in a moment. I've got someone to actually send you to, which is fun. Just have to get that sort of set up. Next week, we will be doing this. Like, this is going to be an ongoing thing we are actively setting up. We're running with. It's going to be a whole fucking thing. And I hope I have it fixed. We're weird about what counts as philosophy. I mean, this is my upcoming at some point this week, I will finish all of these essays. I've got like 5, but I've got 2 that I need to get done. One of them is on AI art. It's the same thing. We have these weird ways that we categorize things based on the ability for us to just go, well, it's art or it's philosophy. And we assume these categories are denotative of everything that those things encompass, even if it's bad philosophy or if it's bad art. We tend to put those outside of it. And I think that's the childish thing that is there. I think it's a childish way of looking at these things. Excellent. YouTube Studio crashed for me. That's my favorite thing. I don't even know if it's still live. Oh, it is. Good. Hello. So we're going to send you over to, there we go, finally running. We're going to send you over to, oh, it doesn't show him as actually live yet. So you're going to get me rambling for a few more minutes. Sunday was going to go live. If you haven't watched it, Sunday's new video is pretty excellent. He was supposed to be live 15 minutes ago. That's what I thought. Fucking dude. The fuck is he doing? Terrible. So you guys will get to sit here until then. Once he goes live, we'll raid into him. But until then, just embarrassing Sunday. What am I supposed to do with you? For now, thought that was for tomorrow. I thought what was for tomorrow? I've got a lot of irons in the fire, and I've got LJ from the QC. We actually want to do our first publishing project. The stream is for tomorrow. He wrote me like literally, he wrote me 20 minutes ago and said, going live soon, raid in. It doesn't look like he's going live. I don't know what the fuck is happening. You people, man. All of you fucking people. Scheduled for 1:13. Yeah, it's today. It was 20 minutes ago. So maybe it's tomorrow next year. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? We'll figure it out. I'm just going to leave his fucking window open. Then when it goes live, we'll send over. So who knows? Someone let me know when that goes. We have a project we want to actually publish, and it comes from one of my favorite books. And given that we have a weirdly anonymous group, like the QC is a really fascinating thing. If you haven't read any works by Edouard Levé, I present to you Auto Portrait. He has 2 other books that are fairly well known. One is called Sue. Yep, and then the rest of the word is aside, and it's great. It's one that I'm not going to tell you about it. It's horrifying. It's mirrored, of course. Yes, it is. I forgot I flipped my camera. I don't care. That's fine. You get to deal with it. It's Edouard Levé. Here, we'll switch to solo. You don't need to see the rest of the screen. Edouard Levé, Auto Portrait. Auto Portrait. One, I love the art. But his style of this and his other book are oddly vulnerable but particular. And it's written in a way that, of all things, reminds me of Proust, actually, In Search of Lost Time particularly. In Search of Lost Time, the reason Deleuze attaches to it and the reason it's so wonderful is that there isn't a way to summarize it. So you have it sort of exports to JSON. Think of adding keywords and other details. Can I see the JSON? You know what? I will put the JSON in the chat. 1 second. You're in the server. If you go to the server, I'll put it in the stream notes. Stream chat. Stream chat. So head on in there. Why is the body without a spring when the alcoholic needs a drink? I would not necessarily listen to a lot of what Ian Buchanan says with a lot of this. There's a lot of issues there. But Autoportrait opens. I'm just going to read just so you can see the style of it. When I was young, I thought life, a user's manual, would teach me how to live, and suicide, a user's manual, would teach me how to die. I've spent 3 years and 3 months abroad. I prefer to look to my left. I have a friend who gets off on betrayal. The end of a trip leaves me with a sad aftertaste, the same as the end of a novel. I forget things I don't like. I may have spoken, without knowing it, to someone who killed someone. I look down dead-end streets. I am not afraid of what comes at the end of life. I don't really listen to what people are saying. I'm surprised when someone gives me a nickname and we hardly know each other. I'm slow to notice when someone mistreats me. It's always so surprising, evil, somehow unreal. I archive. I spoke to Salvador Dali when I was 2 years old. Competition does not drive me. To describe my life precisely would take longer than to live it. I wonder if I will turn reactionary with age. And the whole thing is just one long paragraph that goes on exactly like that. And by the end of it, you know who he is. But he never actually told you who he is. He's like the dots. Like, this is why he loves this pointillist odd style. There's no picture of a man here. The dots make up what you turn that into. The dots make up that thing. And all the pieces of what he talks through, all of those things are what it is. And we're looking at actually getting a bunch of you fuckers, including myself, to actually write short versions of this and putting together a autoportrait of us, the QC, because I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be interesting. But no, I've got a lot of I've finished my writing on Eyes Without a Face as a concept, which I really like. I've just got too many things. And then on top of it, Operation Inflation has just become, it's like family. So kids, Heather, and then my things that are interesting take a second seat to Operation Inflation and politics, which come first, because we are actually fighting fascism right now. If you didn't know, it's actually here, like it's way over the line and it's continuing to get worse, but there are weird allies to be found. The Majority Report had a piece earlier. If you want to be confused about how to feel as a leftist, Philadelphia has a sheriff that is actively saying she will be arresting ICE agents. So all cops are bad. Feel free to enjoy that. It's going to be really weird, and it's going to get weirder. But I'm going to send you guys straight over to our friend Sunday. And I'm going to say, as I always do, if you would like to support what I do, and I hope you would like to support what I do, because I think what I do is at least interesting, moderately interesting perhaps, but still interesting. You can head over to discord.gg/DGQC. Join us live, yell at me live, critique my horrifying JSON files and tell me how I can code better. Or just come to learn about philosophy. We've got a lot of amazing readings that are going every week, and it's astonishing as a place that I'm just humbled to be a part of. If you have a couple extra bucks, heading over to patreon.com/DGQC, drop a couple bucks a month. That predictable income every month helps me be able to do this more often, helps me to be able to relax a little bit and actually put out more content, be able to dedicate more time. Because otherwise, having to hustle. And hustling takes a lot more energy than not, as you guys know. But as always, appreciated. And I'm going to send you over to Sunday. Thank all of you for being here, and I will see you all soon enough.